Diana, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with you today.
Me too.
Yeah, we're kind of in similar areas, aren't we? I think I saw that you do psychedelic therapy as well.
I am a trained facilitator, but I have not actually taken paying clients.
Okay. Well, this will be really fun. I really enjoy talking with people who have gone through the paid facilitator or licensed facilitator programs. So this will be really exciting. Tell me a little bit
Well,
about what it is that you do.
in general, like
Sure. Yeah. Give me something to hone in and focus in on for the beginning here.
sir, I am actually an author. So I write about psychedelics, and my training
Mhm.
for the facilitator training was kind of to give me credibility in my writing. Even
Ah,
though I had been through, I've done for myself, I've had psychedelic assisted therapy. I believe it saved my life, and I want to help as many people as possible. And I feel that the way that I do that is through my writing.
okay. That's really cool that the training was to add to the writing. You said that the psychedelic therapy is something that you've utilized. It's been really useful for you. Will you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have had, as we all have, I've had quite a bit of trauma in my life, and in 2018, I everything just kind of bubbled to the surface. I'm the kind of person who just stuffs everything down, doesn't deal with anything. And in 2018, I became suicidal. And I've done talk therapy before. I've tried antidepressants. I've, done herbal things. I've tried a lot of things. And in 2018, I knew that none of the things that I'd tried previously was going to help me. And I'd heard about psychedelic assisted therapy, but I didn't know how to go about finding someone who did it.
Yeah.
As we all know, it's fairly difficult in this country. And I joined a plant medicine meetup, and there was a guy there who had treatment of resistant depression, and he had a psychedelic assisted therapist who was really helping him. So he referred me to his therapist, but he wasn't able to get me in for about 6 months.
Hmm.
And I said, I'm not going to be here in 6 months. And
Yeah.
he was training somebody at the time, and he said, well, she's not as qualified as I am, but I'm sure she can get you in quickly. And she was able to get me in within like 2 weeks, and she was phenomenal, and I truly credit her for saving my life.
Incredible. So the big thing that it sounded like you were dealing with was the suppression.
Mhm.
Yeah. Join the
Yeah.
club, right? All of us. It's almost like we get taught that early in our life.
Definitely, and that's part of the trauma, right?
Yeah, exactly. Is that you can't be accepted for who you are. You have to
Right.
earn your connections and that all your attachments are conditional. So the stress
Yeah.
of, am I good enough, really builds up. How did the
Mhm.
psychedelic therapy help you with the suppression?
I think it really connected me to myself. It connected me to the person that I've always known was in there,
Hmm.
but wasn't allowed or able to present itself.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I was like, "Oh, there you are." Part of the reason that I was, suicidal, like, I for the first time, and I think the only time, um, other than being under the influence, I had seen myself from outside of myself.
Hmm.
I was looking at who I was, who I was presenting, like who the world saw, and I was like, "That's not me."
Yeah.
And that was the moment that I knew I needed to get help, was that the person I was presenting to the world wasn't actually the person inside of me, and so the psychedelics connected me to that person inside.
Did you say that you realized you saw this other vantage point of who you were from the outside before the psychedelic experience?
Yeah,
How did that
yeah.
happen?
So I was in a very, very unhealthy relationship,
Mhm.
um, and we were my my boyfriend and I were on a bus, and he was an alcoholic, a not functioning alcoholic, and I was just outside of my body, sort of floating on the bus, like, looking down at the 2 of us, and I could see how I was interacting with him, and
Mhm.
I could feel what I was feeling inside, all the turmoil and thinking that's not me. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I was just above both of us floating there and realizing that that person sitting there was not me.
And just to doubly clarify, this is before any psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is incredible because we have the ability to have psychedelic experiences without any substances, and sometimes they come on
Absolutely.
spontaneously induced. And here you're describing a very psychedelic experience, out of body,
Mhm.
different perspectives, and a lot more clarity. So it shows you, okay, who I'm presenting is not who I am. Two questions for you then, and we can go one at a time if you want. Who's
Sure.
the person that you were presenting? Who is this person that was being shown to the world?
I was definitely a people pleaser, and
Mhm.
I was somebody who didn't feel loved.
Yeah.
I and because I didn't feel loved, I was trying to get love from easy places. So
Mhm.
thinking that this alcoholic person who didn't have his life together, who was a complete mess,
Mhm.
if he couldn't love me, then I wasn't lovable.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that you weren't loved? Or where did this
Oh,
belief that I'm unlovable develop?
I have a very, very loving mother, and she's always been a loving mother,
Mhm.
but she's the only person in my life who's been constant. So my father abandoned us when I was 11. My extended family, they've never cared about me, or at least I've never felt like they cared about me. My cousins got all kinds of attention, but my
Mhm.
sister and I were like, we didn't exist. Um, and I grew up in poverty. And so I was kind of invisible, to everyone
Yeah.
growing up. So I've just
Mhm.
always felt unseen, and I
Yeah.
guess being unseen is also being unloved.
Mhm. Yeah. And was your mother a single mother
Yeah,
after the
so
divorce?
from the age of 11, single mother
Mhm.
who, she was an immigrant, didn't have education.
Mhm.
So, in order for her to put a roof over our head and food on the table, she actually, more trauma. She turned our home into a group home for juvenile delinquents. So here I am, an 11-year-old with like 17, 16, 17-year-old
Mhm.
kids, and I have no judgment of them, but as an 11-year-old with these teenagers coming into my home and, like, killing my pets, stealing my stuff, smearing feces on the walls, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
So it was quite traumatic. Yeah.
Okay. So your mother was very loving and caring, as you said,
Mhm. Mhm.
and she's an immigrant. She doesn't
Mhm.
know the culture. She's a single mother for two daughters who are at
Yeah.
a time where they really, really need connection and support.
Mhm.
And she's trying to do good things by bringing in all of these people, but that's
Yeah.
causing even more harm.
Yeah. And 2 things can be true at the same time. So,
Precisely.
my mother did the absolute best that she could,
Hmm.
but it was also traumatic for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Our
Yeah.
parents always do the best they can, and
Yeah.
we can take that for
Yeah.
granted. And their
Yeah.
best could be a lot better. And that's not a dig or a criticism at them. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
where did she learn these dynamics?
exactly. Yeah, she
Yeah,
had a very, very traumatic childhood and
yeah,
upbringing. So, yeah, I like, but even knowing that, right? So
mhm,
as an adult child, um, I know all of her trauma. I understand why she is the way she is, but it doesn't take away
mhm,
the trauma that I experienced.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
knowing it doesn't change it.
Right.
It
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
enables us to make choices, but then it's what are the choices, what are the options, and
Right.
how do we exercise those abilities? Who
Yeah.
when you were a
Yeah.
kid and you were going through all this, who'd you talk to about it?
I don't remember talking to anyone about it. I don't
Yeah,
even think that my friends really understood what my home
mhm,
life was like.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you were totally alone with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those
Yeah.
patterns of suppression are very strong at this point. The masking, the
Mhm.
putting on the I'm this and not what I'm actually going through. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy to
Just
see
being
where all these,
strong.
yeah, being
Yeah.
strong, independent, doing everything on our
Yep.
own. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are the ways that we adapt to the trauma. And so then it makes perfect sense that later in life you would look for a partner from, you said, somebody who is going to be easy to love,
Mhm.
low
For
standards
them to love me,
for them to love
not
you.
not
Yes.
for me to love them,
Yes,
'cause
precisely.
I'm a very loving person. I've always been a loving person. I can
Yeah.
love anybody, but to feel loved from somebody else, like, yeah, I thought that
Mhm.
this person could love me because they're
Yeah.
so damaged that they're desperate,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
exactly. But then you see, here's the twist in the story is this person is not capable of loving you, just like your parents weren't. See,
exactly.
so when
Yeah,
we learn as children what connection, what compassion looks like, what our attachments look like, we end up looking for that exact same model later in life. So
yeah.
we look for love and connection in the same ways that we didn't get it from the people who can't give it to us.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what how it is, right?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have the not the exact same experience, but the same patterns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
very, very similar, and even if the dynamics change a little bit, the pattern's almost identical. Almost
yeah.
everybody that I work with has gone through some version of that, myself included.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. And how old were you when you figured out, "Oh my gosh, this is what I've been doing. I need to change." How old were you when you
mhm.
figured that out?
The first time I saw it, yeah, there were times all throughout my childhood where I was very much aware of that, and then I'd lose it because you'd get so wrapped up in the adapting and surviving. I
Right.
think the time where it really, really hit me, the first time where I was like, something needs to change, 23, highly
Wow.
suicidal, really going through it
Okay.
myself, and very, very similar situation to you. Now, whether or not I was able to do something with that, right?
Mhm.
That was a teaching moment, but the learning moment came about
Right.
8 years later.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
It took me that
So in
long
that
of
8
learning it.
years, were in those 8 years, were you, like, knowing there was something out there and grasping for it, or were you still, like, suppressing?
I knew there was something out there, and through those 8 years, that's when I was studying psychedelic therapy in particular.
Oh,
I
okay.
had found it through that experience that I had had, and I got
Okay.
on that path, and this was how I was trying to figure it out. So,
Wow.
yeah, but again, yeah, teaching, learning, knowing, doing, these are very, very different dynamics, and it took me some
Definitely.
time, and I didn't have many resources myself, and of course, this was during a time where, like you were saying, it was very, very difficult to find anybody who was in this. But there,
Mhm.
you can find it. There's ways, but I didn't have the resources. I couldn't pay people. I didn't have,
Right?
you
It's
know,
expensive.
yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Luckily, I did find somebody who was willing to work with me, not in the psychedelic therapy sense, but through traditional therapy, who was very, very well informed, I would say, for the time, in terms of psychedelic therapy. And he really helped me out. Um, but
Wow.
again, just working with him for 3 years, it took time. It took a lot of patience. It took a lot of, oh crap, I'm back in that pattern again. Okay, let me retrace my steps. How did I get here?
Right. But at
Yeah,
least you could recognize it now, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think a lot of people go through that too of the I'm back in it again. And when I'm
Mhm.
working with people, my job is to keep showing them where you're in it, where you're in it. I'm just going to keep reflecting it. And sometimes that can be discouraging, but a lot of the times it's like,
Right.
okay, I'm in it. I see exactly how I got into it. Now I can make choices.
Mhm.
Now
Right.
I can do things differently. And where we were once unconscious and helpless, now we become very powerful and we can become,
Mm.
architects of our own life and cultivate agency and choice again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
recognizing it is a major step in fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you end up doing when you saw that you had multiple parts of you, a part that had been lost and a part that had stepped up and I could say protected you? Um,
Mhm.
we can look to how that mask or that persona that you had put on was a protection. But what did you do with that part of you there? The mask, the pleasing, the presenting as being a certain way.
It's still here,
Hmm.
but I recognize it now.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, I recognize when I'm putting on the mask, and it has its place. There are certain situations where I do need to present a strong, capable person, and I am a strong, capable person, but I'm also very tender inside, and sometimes that tenderness isn't appropriate. So the person that I was presenting, I'm grateful for the strength that persona has, and so I think that I can use the strengths, and I know the weaknesses, and I know when not like there are parts of that persona that are not good for me. So I take what's good, and I bless what's not good for me, and I release that.
What do you mean you release it? What does that look like?
Um, like when certain things come up,
Hmm.
I can recognize it and I say, "Thank you so much
Yeah.
for protecting me in my past. I appreciate that you've kept me alive, but I no longer need you."
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I no longer need you.
Yeah.
I can see how that's really useful. Um, but I wonder, did you ever have a time in your life where you felt like you were no longer needed?
Oh, so many times. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had 2 major suicidal periods,
Uh-huh.
but e even now, like, on a not a daily basis, like, I'm not suicidal,
Hmm.
but I do often think, like, "What's the point?
Yeah, I know what you
What
mean.
is the point in being here?" And
Hmm.
it's not that I am unhappy, it's not that my life is terrible. I have an amazing life. Like, I can't believe that I am living the life that I'm living. From where I came from to who I am today and the life that I'm living now is it's incredible. So it's not that. It's just, it's the existential, like, what does it all mean? and
Yeah.
and why am I here? And is there a point to my existence?
Hmm. Yeah. So since you're in this realm of awareness and accountability, here we can see that by treating this part of you as it's not needed, there's no point in it being here anymore. This is continuing this cycle of what's the point? Why am I here? The
Mhm.
relationship that you're treating yourself is still having those same impacts.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working with psychedelics for, I guess, 6 years now. Is that no, 8 years. So it's I think people think that psychedelic assisted therapy is a magic bullet.
Oh, yeah.
Um, like,
Mhm.
I just had a consult with somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, I've done it a few times, but, like, I'm still dealing with these issues, and I thought that I'd be fixed by now." You
Mhm.
know, like,
Yeah.
they think it's a one and done thing, and and people need to understand that, that this type of work, yes, it's extremely beneficial. I think they need to understand you still need to do the work.
Mhm.
You still need to work on yourself. It just kind of might help accelerate the process.
Yeah.
So it's not a magic bullet.
Yeah.
It's in a way it's harder because it comes at you so much like quicker, right? Like you're dealing with so much all at once in one session, but it moves things faster so that you can work on the next thing and the next
Mhm.
thing. And no one's ever fixed, right? No
Well,
one's
yeah.
ever completely
If
healthy.
you think about the analogy of fixing, I'm gonna
Mhm.
fix myself, I'll be fixed.
Right.
What's something that needs to be fixed?
For me,
Or just in general, when
in
somebody
general,
thinks that you need to
right,
fix something, what's the thing that needs to be fixed? What is it? It's broken.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that's
Well,
broken.
I think everyone feels broken.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's anyone alive who doesn't feel parts of them that are broken.
Yeah.
We've all had trauma,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's absolutely true, but I think that belief of ourselves being broken is a product. It's an adaptation of the trauma. It's another thing
Mhm.
that helped us in the short term. You know, when bad things are happening when we're children, when you're going through all this trauma and your dad leaves you and your mom is very loving but unavailable in lots of ways or perpetuating the pain in other ways. You know, how do we make sense of that? When we're not getting the care that we need, the connections that we need, what's the story, the narrative that we develop as children? There's only
Mhm.
really two ways that we can look at it. We could say, well, my parents, my caregivers are just not up to the task. They're not capable. They're not qualified. They're not prepared. They're not willing. In other
Mhm.
words, I'm screwed. There is no healthy, positive outlook of how this is going to play out for me. But what if it's not my parents? What if it's me?
Mhm.
Mhm. Ah, okay.
Mhm.
So I could say my parents are older. They do have connections. They've survived. People do like and respect them. They're navigating the world. The problem is I'm just not good enough for it. But if I could be good enough, then I will get the things that I need.
Mhm.
Then I'll get the
Mhm.
care, the connection, the value, the acceptance, whatever, so on and so forth. So this idea of being broken really helps us in the short term, but again, when we're being treated like we're broken, there's so much pain, so much fear of I'm never going to be not broken, so much
Mhm.
anger of the fact that I am broken and that this stuff happened to me. And
Mhm.
so I understand that a lot of people do think that they're broken.
Mhm.
And I also think that nobody's broken. Things happen to
Right.
us and we
Yeah.
adapted to
Yeah.
them in the only ways that were available. And we are so much more than the things that have happened to us.
Oh, yeah. And I'm actually really grateful for everything that's happened to me. Um, I think l you like, when you're going through it, you don't wanna hear somebody say, "Well, when you get through this, you're gonna be so grateful that you went through it," right? You don't wanna hear that when you're going through it. But having sort of come out the other side of it, I am so grateful for everything that I've been through because of where I'm at right now, and I
Mhm.
would not be here without everything that has happened to me, and like I said before, my life is amazing, and I know that I have become well, no, I have found the person that I've always been been meant to be. It has always been there, but I've found it again.
Yeah. The word recovery means to find something that you've lost.
Exactly.
When somebody's healing an addiction, we say they're in recovery. That's exactly what's
Yeah,
happening is they're recovering this part of them that has been sacrificed and had to be. That's how we survived.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms of constantly doing the work, just like you were talking earlier, almost everybody that I've worked with, and I had this belief too when I first started, is that, yeah, this is the magic pill. This is the magic bullet. It's going to rewire my brain and my nervous
Yeah.
system. I'm going to come out, I'm
Yeah.
going to drink green tea, I'm going to meditate, and I'm not going to want to slap people. But that wasn't true, of course. Um,
Right.
the actual application of all of this is the most important part. Like the psychedelic experience in itself is one that helps us go deeper. It helps us see things from different perspectives to understand it. And it also shows us what could be outside of it. Then we have to go and do it. And
Right.
I think that's exactly what you were talking about. So, if I
Yeah.
may, here, we found a little area when we were talking where a slight change, a slight adjustment in terms of a personal relationship that we identified with this one part in particular, the mask who's no longer needed. A slight change could make a big difference.
Mhm.
And so, if I may, I'd ask here when you felt like you weren't needed throughout any time in your life. What were the things that you did need?
What were the things that I needed?
Uh-huh. When you felt like you weren't wanted, valued, accepted, you weren't needed there anymore, what did you need in those moments?
Love and acceptance?
And what would that look like?
See, this is one of the things that I still really struggle with
Hmm.
is the external validation.
Yeah.
So I still am
Hmm.
constantly needing, people to acknowledge me and acknowledge what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And I'm really, really struggling with feeling proud of myself.
Hmm.
Like I look at my achievements and there's always a yes, but
Yeah.
like everything I do, there is a yes, but.
Hmm.
Um, and and it's I'm wanting the world to say, yeah, we see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it seems like that because we just identified part of the relationship with yourself. And the way that we treat ourselves is a mirror for how we engage with the world. So if I believe that I'm not needed anymore, in other words, I have no value, in other words, I'm not accepted for who I am, um, I'm not cherished, there's no place for me, I need to be exiled or cut out. Well, that's what I'm going to see in the world all around me. So,
Mhm.
what would it have taken for you to feel loved, accepted, valued, cherished, respected, a sense of belonging during those times where you didn't?
That's actually a really difficult question
Hmm.
for me. I've always like for me, it's just always been the people who are supposed to care about me don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they had cared about me, I don't know if that would have been enough. I honestly don't because I've
Hmm.
never felt that. But like in my life right now, my husband is I can't believe I am with somebody like him.
Yeah.
He loves me like I've never been loved before.
Hmm.
And I know that he loves me. And yet I'm still looking for
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. It's hard to receive
So
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's part of the pattern that we've been identifying is I want people who can love me easily, but can I receive it? Can I see it?
right?
This goes back to childhood. Our parents love us. We could take that for granted. They are biologically programmed to love us and care for us.
Right.
You told me that right away. My mom was super loving. Now, can she communicate it in a way that is able to be received? It doesn't matter
Right.
how loving and well intentioned the parent is. It matters, can the child receive this? And there are certain
Mhm.
things that have to happen in order for the child to receive it. Unfortunately, that rarely happens in our society today. So,
Right.
okay, so we've identified a spot here where in your life it's been difficult to receive acceptance, compassion, validation, connection.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we've identified it's in the personal relationship too with yourself. And
Mhm.
even the idea, the view of what would this look like is still disconnected right now.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we have an area, as we were talking about, it's constant work. We have an area where we can do
Yeah.
some of that right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to? You want to go a little further into
Sure.
it? Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you said to be loved and accepted. And yeah, of course, that's great. What would it take for somebody, for you to receive love and acceptance from somebody? Not whether it would work or not, not whether this is the answer, just what would it take for you to receive love and acceptance when you were a child and you were going through this when it started?
Hmm. I honestly don't know how to
Hmm.
answer that.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, here, let's work through it together then. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. In order for somebody to, in order for you to receive love and acceptance, first and foremost, somebody has to be there.
Mhm.
Okay. And that one was a problem. Your dad left when you were 11 years old. Somebody wasn't there. And your
Right.
mom was stressed with navigating, one, being an immigrant, two, being a single mother, three, navigating a divorce, and taking on all these extra children. So she was stressed and unavailable.
Mhm.
So while she was
Yeah.
physically present, she wasn't emotionally present. Okay.
Right.
So first and foremost, somebody needs to be there.
Mhm.
Okay. And your mom was physically there. So just being physically there isn't enough. In order for the love and the acceptance to happen, we need a deeper form of engagement and connection. Okay. So, first thing, somebody to be there. Two, tell me if this fits. They need to see you. They need
Mhm.
to listen to you. They need
Mhm.
to understand what you're going through. How can somebody accept you if they can't see you? If they don't know what you're going through? How can somebody accept you if you tell them, Mom, I'm in pain. Mom, I'm all alone. Mom, I'm scared. Mom, I'm angry. And she says, and I'm not saying that your mother did this, I'm just giving an example here. And she goes, You got nothing to be sad about. Get out of here. You're going to be sad. I'll give you something to be sad about. Right? Uh,
Yeah.
Our emotional experience has been totally invalidated and dismissed.
Yeah.
So,
My mom's always said life isn't fair.
ah, yeah,
So that's what I grew up with is life like when I'm feeling like why is my life like this? Well, Diana, life isn't fair and you just have to work hard.
yeah. Yeah, work hard and then it will be fair and then you'll be good enough and then you'll get all the
Right?
things that you need. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And there's the invalidation right there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we needed somebody to be with us, see us, hear us, say, yeah, you know what? This isn't fair. You need a dad right now. You need a loving, supportive family network. You need to be accepted and validated and valued and cherished just for who you are. And that's not happening and that's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
validation after the person listens and sees, they validate. They accept that you feel this way. Okay. How about some
Yeah.
comfort here? Would that be a part of the love and the acceptance?
Yeah, like some physical touch, like hugging.
Yeah.
My family was never huggers.
Yeah.
Um, my husband is a hugger, and so, like, I get hugs all the time now. That's something I've never had before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would a physical comfort look like in that situation that we are talking about, the childhood one?
Well, like, when I'm
Yeah.
crying
Yeah.
or
So
not feel yeah,
when you're
just,
being loved, accepted, valued, validated,
mm,
what would some physical comfort look like?
like, yeah, the hugging, the being with
Yeah.
the person through the struggle, like
Yeah.
sitting with somebody, listening, holding their
Ah.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah. So
instead of, buck up.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Okay. So rather than telling them they're not needed, get out of here, buck up, it needs to be this way, I'm going to comfort you. I
mhm,
see you're carrying so much pain that you need to step up and be this way here. And thank you so much for doing that. And you don't have to do it alone. Ah,
yeah.
I'm going to be here and go through this with you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had
Hmm.
that I'll go through this with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the really good thing is now we've identified what that part of you who's masking, the one that's no longer needed. Now we've identified what that part really needs.
mhm, yeah, and like, people who have these patterns, I think a lot of us are the shy people
Hmm.
who don't who like, we feel so invisible that we just never reach out for the help that we need because we're
Yeah.
so afraid that if we do, we're not gonna get it, and that's gonna make us feel even worse,
Hmm.
and so we're very quiet,
Yeah.
like, there I read something about the fire horse and the moons and stuff, and it was, like, for me, like, my birth date and stuff, and one of the lines was, "You are upset that you're never seen, but you never speak up.
Hmm.
So how can anyone see you
Yeah.
if you don't speak up?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a very common theme right there. And, it's
yeah,
kind of like my needs are never met, but I never ask for anything.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly who I am. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
I'm
you
so
nailed it.
independent, I can do it
Uh-huh.
on myself. I
Yeah.
can do everything myself, I don't need your help, but inside I know I need the help and I
Yeah.
want the help, but I'm not willing to ask for it.
Yeah. And you identified perfectly exactly why that is the risk of not getting it is so painful that I'd rather just not get it. And that way it's on
Yep,
my terms. At least I have
yep,
control over it.
exactly. That's
But the
exactly it.
the end result is you never get it.
Yep.
Okay. So here's a question of the rhetorical type, which is receiving or getting that attention, having somebody be present with you, to see you, to listen to you, to understand what you're going through, to go through it with you, to validate and accept it, and then to comfort that pain. And I'll add one more to do so consistently. Because when you were a kid, if somebody would have done that once and then never did it again, it makes no difference. It might even make it worse.
Right, right.
Yeah. So to do so consistently. So the question is, who's the person who needs to do that?
Well, I know it's me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know that, but I was like, how do you actually do it? Like, I've
Mhm.
I've been meditating on this thing where I don't have pride in my accomplishments, and I'm like, but
Uh-huh.
how do you learn how to do that for yourself?
Okay. So the way that we do it is, how do you know when that masking part of you is coming up?
I think it's a physical
Mhm.
feeling. So
Perfect.
I'm just starting to get it. Like I've
Uh-huh.
always disassociated from my body. I've had
Yes.
sexual assault trauma.
Mhm.
So I've always disassociated my body
Yeah.
from my body, and I'm just now starting to learn somatic practices,
Yes.
and so only now am I starting to identify what's going on in my body when these things are coming
Perfect.
up in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's excellent. That is, your steps into the practice already. Where do you feel it?
Solar plexus,
And what does it feel like?
tightness.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah.
Tightness, weight, constriction,
Yeah.
tension.
Constriction. Yeah.
Yeah. Suffocation
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you feel that?
Probably daily still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day. Multiple times a day?
Yeah. When I am comparing myself to others.
Oh, so that's, yeah, absolutely when it's active.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I know you said that you were just reconnecting with that feeling, but if you could give an estimate, or maybe you have an idea of this, when did you first start feeling that? When did that feeling develop? When can you first remember it?
Think only just recently.
hmm Okay.
Yeah, within the last year or so.
Okay. So that's when you started reconnecting with it. So let me just
Uh-huh.
ask really fast. When you were alone with all that pain as a kid, do you think you felt it then?
Probably, I just don't remember.
Yeah. So it was just
Yeah.
disconnected, but it was there. So
Yeah.
in other words, this is pain from the past. This is a feeling from the past that is showing up here.
Mhm.
So that version of you that still carries around all that pain that was never seen, never accepted, never valued, never had any protection, never had anybody to go through the thing with you, always all alone with it. And then all of the perpetrators see that and they come right in.
Yeah.
This is the part of you who needs somebody to be with her. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were asking, how do you do that? Well, when you do your practice and you're going to meditate, and you can do this even when you're not meditating all throughout the day, you put your attention on that feeling in your solar plexus. And
Sit
then
with the discomfort.
you can do a lot more than just sit with it. Yeah. Sitting with it, yeah, I mean, it's like, it doesn't really do anything with it. Yeah.
So what do you do with it?
Yeah. All those things that you needed that you didn't get. You can
It
listen to
feels
it.
so disingenuous for me. So, like,
Yeah.
the inner child work and
hmm
that kind of thing. Whenever I try to do these practices,
hmm
I feel so disingenuous. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like it's, I think it's still the programming, like,
Yes.
you don't need this.
Uh-huh.
You're strong. You don't
Yeah.
like,
hmm
you don't need to be coddled.
Yeah. Okay. So feeling disingenuous, not a feeling. Disingenuous is an assessment, it's an
Right.
evaluation, it's a mental process. And it is a part of this belief of you're strong, independent, you don't need any of that. Okay. When did you learn that again?
Like when I was 4.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the 4-year-old speaking right there. The 4-year-old has both hands on the steering wheel right now. When that comes up, that's who you're working with.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this 4-year-old is saying you need to be strong, independent, and do everything on your own, and you don't need any of that. But what does this 4-year-old really need? Why is this 4-year-old trying to do
All
that?
of that.
Exactly. So if you saw a 4-year-old who was in that state, what would you do?
I'd I'd be comforting them, I'd
Yeah.
be hugging them, I'd be holding them, and
Yeah.
yeah.
"Oh, it's okay, little 4-year-old. You do need those things, and I'm gonna show
Right,
you how good this is."
right.
Yeah. So when you start to turn your attention to that solar plexus and this 4-year-old gets very active, come sit with me. Let me show you how nice this is. It's okay. I know you don't need it, but it's okay. You can have it anyway.
Mm,
And then you practice over and over and over doing that. It'll be very difficult and challenging at first, and it gets a lot easier. Because, I mean, you're building a relationship with somebody who doesn't trust anybody.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can do it in real time when you feel that coming in and it's, I'm going to suppress my needs. I'm going to suppress my expression all to try to get this thing over here. I'm just going to give myself that thing and then I won't need it from anybody else. If I get
Mhm.
it from somebody else, great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I get it from myself.
yeah,
That's the practice right there.
yeah. That's really hard.
Yeah.
And I think I've actually like, I've been working on so much of my big trauma
Hmm.
that, like the events,
Yeah.
right? That I'm not yeah, I've been ignoring the cumulative
Yes,
effect. Does that make
it
sense?
does. And that's a part of the defense.
Yeah,
Yeah. By focusing on the details and the things that happened, we can ignore all the things that we were left with because of the thing that happened.
yeah,
It's another form of disconnect and distraction.
yeah,
So, looking at the things that happened can be useful and important, but it can also be a trap where we go into the rumination and the dwelling and we keep reliving this. What we
mhm,
really want to look at is what was the result of the thing that happened? In other words, how did I adapt to the thing that happened? How did I become constricted and limited in the way that I live life after this thing that happened? Okay, I learned to suppress myself. Okay, I learned to disconnect from myself. I learned to judge and criticize myself. I learned to tell myself that I'm not valuable and that I need to do everything on my own and I don't need anything and because I'm not going to get it anyway. These are the results of it. So the thing that happened, that's the injury. That's the, I got hit in the head. The way that I adapted to it is the concussion. And that's what we really want to look at. That's what we really want to start to nurse and comfort and soothe. It's like a scar, it becomes really stiff and rigid. And
yeah,
if we exercise it, if we nurture it, it becomes softer. It regains its feeling. It gains mobility. We have more range of motion. This is what we're trying to do with it.
right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So happy practicing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of work to do, and, even though, I feel like I have healed so much of my trauma,
Hmm.
so, like, when I look at the sexual assault, there's nothing left in my body when I think of it. So I know that I've healed from that, like, from the experience itself, but there are things associated with it
Hmm.
that I have not healed from.
Mental, emotional. Yeah. That are not
Yeah,
physical.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. And, I think a lot of us have a negative association with work. Most of us don't like work. Most of the times we're forced to do work even though we don't want to do it. So there's a bitterness and a resentment that comes to it.
Right,
But
yeah.
when we're doing this for ourselves, it's not really work.
So
Yeah.
what should we call it? What's a better name for than working on ourselves?
How about nurturing ourselves? How about caring for ourselves? How about showing up for ourselves? How about
Mm,
being attuned to ourselves?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the things that we needed that we didn't get. Now we get to do all of those. So we get to have
Right,
it.
right.
How wonderful is
Yeah,
that? And then
yeah.
the real beauty is when we can do it for ourselves, now we can do it with other people. If I can't
Mm,
be present with myself, if I can't value myself, if I can't accept myself, if I can't see my own emotions, if I can't make space for my own emotions, how can I ever do that for somebody else? So the deeper that we build the relationship with ourselves, the deeper we'll be able to do it with others. And that's the real joy right there is now a whole new world opens up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely the kind of person that has, superficial relationships because I'm afraid of being hurt.
Hmm.
So, yeah, if I can f find the relationship with myself, then I can have like, actual deeper relationships with others. Yeah.
Precisely. Because if you have a strong relationship with yourself, one where you always show up, one where you're always paying attention, you're always attuned to what you're going through. So you're always present with your experience, meaning you can express boundaries, you can express emotions, and you can take care of yourself. You can protect yourself when needed. And when you get hurt, which is inevitable in life, you can comfort yourself through it. Well, now the danger of being hurt by somebody is so much smaller, so much less threatening.
Mhm. Yeah. And I don't need to like, when the person who hurts me is the person that I would want to help me with the hurt, they're not going to help me with the hurt that they caused. So, yeah, I need to help myself with that.
Hmm. And you can choose people that you let in a lot more selectively and consciously. So if somebody does something that you let in your life and they do hurt you, well, maybe they didn't mean to do that. Or maybe they were just
Uh-huh.
unavailable. Or maybe they did something that hurt you that wasn't actually a hurtful thing that they did. It was just a belief that you had about yourself, and that's why it hurt. Well, in this situation, yes, you can take care of yourself and you can express that and you can say, hey, this thing really hurt me. Hey, I was really, wounded or hurt or so on and so forth, whatever it was, by this thing that happened, and it scares me, and I don't like that. Right, we can communicate and we can show somebody what we're going through because we're secure and comfortable and attuned to it ourselves. And then whoever it was, if we're choosing people who are really compassionate to be in our life, they'd probably say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That was an accident. I didn't even mean to do that. I was just so busy with this thing. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even see it. I didn't mean to do this. Come, I'm
Right.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can repair those things a lot easier when we're connected to it ourselves.
Yeah. And we can like, the people who are incapable of saying sorry or,
Hmm.
you know, we can still deal with that ourselves and
Precisely.
understand that they're just not capable and we're never gonna get that from them,
Yep.
and I'm still okay.
Yeah. And you can have boundaries with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people from my early life who are completely incapable of an apology, let alone an acknowledgement that they ever did anything wrong. And so they continue to do the exact same things over, and the
Right.
intensity of it gets more and more dangerous. And so, boundaries.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't get to come in my life and
Yep.
do that. I
Right.
can choose who's in my life, and I don't got space for that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where we become very powerful. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I want to make some time. You said the main thing that you do is you write.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
So my debut novel came out in January. It's called They Could Be Saviors,
Hmm.
and it looks at billionairism as a mental illness that can be cured with psychedelic-assisted therapy.
Very true.
And yeah, for sure. And the ultimate goal by curing the billionairism is for billionaires to solve climate change.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that's the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that one, you went through the training to enhance this, we can see so many parallels from everything that we've talked about in just the short little synopsis that you gave me of the book. saviors, somebody to come and save us, right? Somebody to change the thing that's going on, somebody to accept and acknowledge their role in things that are happening
Yeah.
and take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
all those themes right there.
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, they're all right here. Yeah, that's fun to work with, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So the book came out in January. How are you feeling
Yep.
about it so far?
Oh, it's a roller coaster, and, it's the yeah buts. It's the,
Mhm.
"Yeah, you won this prestigious award, but I'm not a New York Times bestselling author." "Oh, you sold this many copies." "Yeah, but so and so sold this many copies."
Uh-huh.
And so I've still got the yeah buts on it.
The
Mhm.
harsh critic who's in your ear saying you're never good enough.
Yep.
Where'd you learn that from?
Mm.
Whose voice is that?
My own.
Where'd you learn it
No
from?
one has ever from working so hard my
Mhm.
whole life and feeling like I'm never seen, like
Yeah.
that nothing that I do is ever seen.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you said earlier your mom's famous line was, "Life's not fair, work hard."
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah.
this is where we learned it from. No
Yeah.
matter how much I do, it's never good enough.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's this voice, this very harsh critic who's in your ear constantly and sounds like is ruining your joy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think that probably most people who are in my position who have published a book, who has, getting all kinds of, acclaim for their writing, and I feel nothing. Like, I do not feel proud. I feel very disconnected from the book itself. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna push on that one. You're feeling some things.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not what you're looking for.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
when this
yeah,
when this voice is active and saying, "Yeah, but you've got an award. Yeah, but you still suck. Yeah, you're not good
yeah.
enough. Yeah, you're never gonna be good enough." What do you feel there?
My whole life, like, I remember feeling this, like, in grade school,
Mhm.
thinking that, like, I've never suffered from low self-esteem. I've always believed that I have a lot to give to the world,
Mhm.
and that, I am going to be a part of something bigger than myself. So, I believe that I can change the world. So my book, I believe, will change the world, but then there's this, it's not happening. You know?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
world isn't changed. My book has been out for a month and the world hasn't changed
Yeah.
yet.
So
So, like,
this
I'm
is the belief, the yeah, but the criticism of it's
mhm,
still not good enough. What's the
mhm,
feeling here? That's what I'm asking. When somebody's saying, "Yeah, but yeah, you didn't change the world. Yeah, you didn't accomplish anything. Yeah, you got that award, but it's not a New York Times bestseller. Yeah, but," how does that make you feel?
not enough.
Okay, yeah, not enough. That's the assessment. Does it make you
Yeah, gotta
angry?
work harder. Sad.
Sad?
My anger is always turned into sadness. I'm
Yeah,
not an angry I can't remember the last time I was angry because my anger is always sadness.
yeah. Okay. So sadness, it makes you really, really
Mhm.
sad. It hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when this voice is very active, yeah, we want to recognize it for what it is. It's the little child version of you who's yapping away trying to be good enough. And you can say, "Ow, that really hurts. We don't have
Mhm.
to do that anymore. Yeah, we published the book. How wonderful is that?" Yeah. We got an award right away. This is incredible. In the first month. Look at that. And all that presence that you needed that you're going to try to give yourself, the attunement, the comfort, the going through it with yourself. Now you get to practice that. What is this part of you feeling who's constantly saying you're not good enough?
That part
Yeah.
is feeling sadness.
Yeah.
It's
She's hurting too.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds like she's also really scared.
Scared of not being seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scared that this is never going to change. Scared that I'm
Yeah.
never going to be good enough.
Yep.
Uh huh. So
That no
she,
matter what I do, no matter
yeah.
how hard I work,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So your practice
Yeah.
right now is to see that and then to comfort that fear and comfort that sadness. So when this voice is going, yeah, but, you want to grab her and say, come here. It's okay. Yeah, you're good enough. You did a thing, a really good thing. It's incredible. And guess what? You didn't even have to do that. I value, cherish, and respect you even if you didn't do that. There's nothing that you have to do to win the connection. There's nothing that you can do to get the connection. And there's nothing that you can do to ruin the connection either. It's always there. And it's up to you to strengthen and reinforce it.
Right.
So that's the exercise, is recognizing this very harsh critic, and then take her by the hand and comfort her and celebrate and revel in the wonderful thing that you've done. Has anybody ever done that for you when you were a kid? Did anybody ever celebrate something wonderful that you've done, or just cherish you just because?
I'm sure they have. I'm sure, but
You can't remember it.
can't remember. Yeah.
So if it did happen, it didn't stick with you.
Right.
It's been lost or forgotten or disconnected. If it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of those things
Yeah.
that we want to bring back. Part that you're recovering of yourself. Well, now I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to go do something fun to celebrate the thing that I accomplished.
Mhm.
If it,
My husband's really good about that, making us celebrate. Like, yeah, when
mhm.
even small things, he's like, "Okay, this is something we need to celebrate," and I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, he's very good about that. But I'm still like, "Is this big enough to celebrate?"
Yeah. So there's the voice. We recognize that and we say, it's okay. It's okay. Easy. I got you. Come here. You're
Yeah.
safe. You're valued. Come,
Yeah.
come, let me show you how valuable you are. I'm going to show you you're so valuable. I'm going to show up every single day, multiple times a day. And I'm going to come and listen to you. And I'm going to spend time with you. And I'm going to see you because that's how important you are. And that's what you
Plan.
do. Yeah. What's that? What are you feeling there?
Um, I guess a little bit of hope.
Mhm. Okay. Hope.
Yeah.
Hope is
Hope.
mental state again. That's something that I want to happen can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the feeling?
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Hmm. Feel like there's a bit of a weight lifted.
Relief. You were smiling, you're
Yeah,
laughing.
relief. Yeah.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of happiness if you ask me. Is hope not a degree of happiness?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. See, that one will slip right past
Yeah.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're allowed to have happiness. You deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more you show up for yourself and the more that you make yourself a priority, probably the happier you'll be.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be great if billionaires could come and be our saviors, but you already have a savior, and it's you.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, we get to save ourselves. We become the ones that we've been looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a little thing says something very similar right on my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also, to go back to your book, that's actually a very powerful dynamic. Do you know who John Perkins is, perchance? Have you heard that name?
Don't
Confessions of
think
an
so.
Economic Hitman.
No,
Oh my
sounds
gosh.
really interesting though.
Yeah, this was a guy. He worked for the United States. He was contracted by the CIA, NSA. He wasn't official government, but he was contracted through them. And basically, what his job was to go to countries. He worked in Latin America, and when they would democratically elect a leader, he'd be the first person they'd meet. And he'd come in there and tell them, this is how it's going to work. You're going to play ball. You're going to do these things. Usually things like taking out very large loans from the IMF, World Bank, and then giving that money to the corporations to build infrastructure like ports and electrical grids, things that'll benefit the company. And then the people get stuck with that debt. And of course, they can't pay it back because they're poor and they don't
Right.
use those things. So the corporations use them. And that's a part of the plan. Then he comes back again when they can't pay their debt and he says, cut us some flesh,
Yeah.
send your military over here, vote in this United Nations thing over here, sell us your oil and your resources dirt cheap. And so he's down in the Amazon and he had some ayahuasca experiences and he's looking at this dam that he put in this river and it's just decimating the entire environment and he's
Wow.
seeing the results of all the things that he's doing. And mind you, this guy had unlimited power. He would come into the heads of states, presidents, prime ministers, people who are running countries, and they get on their knees in front of him. He had power, he had wealth, he had everything that he wanted at the flick of his fingers like this, and he gave it all up.
Wow.
Yeah, and now
Yeah, I need to read that.
he has some nonprofits where it's about environmental conservation, and he works in that field. It's a nonprofit, and he brings people down to the Amazon and shows them what's happening and things that we can do differently. And
Wow.
somebody,
What was his name again? It's
John
so
Perkins,
Confession John Perkins.
Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Yeah, he's written
Okay.
a couple
Yeah, that
books, The
sounds
Secret Empire of
fascinating.
the United States or something. I can't remember what the exact title of his second book is, but yeah, he was, they did a bunch of documentaries on him. So if, you ever saw the Zeitgeist documentaries, he was in one of those
Mhm.
too. And he talks quite a
Okay.
bit about it. So you can see him talk. They take it down from YouTube all the time. There's
I bet.
very strict censorship of this kind of stuff, but yeah, it's out there.
Sounds fascinating and definitely something that I need to read for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
yeah.
you for that.
Yeah, see, here we can see the little celebrations of things that are happening, and um, we could set models too,
Yeah.
examples for people
Yeah.
where, you and I, we might not have the power that somebody who has billions of dollars has, but we do exert a lot of power in our own lives too.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's something I need to remind myself of as well. Like, yeah, I'm not a best-selling or New York Times best-selling author, but what if there's one person out there who read my book and they changed the world,
Yeah,
right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what effect I'm having,
that's
and
right.
there could be so many people that I've affected that are out there doing amazing things because of me,
That's
and I
right.
don't even know.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
one of the beauties of psychedelic experiences is we can catch a glimpse of the larger network of how intricate
Yeah.
and interesting and mysterious and just weird and astonishing the world that we live in really is. Things
Yeah.
that we can't see
Yeah.
with our very narrow senses and perceptions. And yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. We have no idea what's going on. I mean, how many wonderful artists, musicians, writers, wrote everything that they came up with and died broke and nameless, and then posthumously become, somebody who changes everything in the world.
Right? Well, I think about, like, when I meditate, I use the same music, for a lot of my meditations, and a lot of times when I actually reach bliss is when I'm so grateful for the artist who produced that music. They don't know that
Yeah,
their music is causing me bliss, like,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
And the connection, I meditate on the connections, of humanity, and that's what brings me bliss, is that we're all connected.
perfect. So now you know the path. Now what you want to do is you want to apply that same practice to you.
Yeah. It's harder.
It is, but you know exactly how to do it. You
Yeah,
can find the appreciation of somebody else's work and how they've changed, impacted your life. And if it's happening for you, it's certainly happening for other people as well. And
yeah,
yeah, you can do the exact same thing for you. They might not know it, but what does it matter as long as they do it
yeah,
for themselves?
right.
Yeah, you can have all of that. Right now, it's you don't need somebody from the outside to give it to you. And even if somebody did give it to you from the outside, it probably wouldn't make any difference.
Right.
Yeah,
That's so true.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah, so I hope that that you can find that bliss, or I mean, you found the bliss. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping that you can
Yeah.
apply that to your own work because you certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
No,
No, this has been really great. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
yeah, it's my pleasure. I'm really, really grateful to chat with you. And one thing that a teacher told me is whenever you get your back against the wall and you're stuck, um, it's good to go back to the fundamentals and remember where you came from.
Mm,
And that's something that you were saying, I've done all this, I've come all this way. Yeah, really cherish that and celebrate that and value yourself for doing all of that. And this is really powerful in terms of getting through when you're up against the wall. It can be really
yeah.
helpful. And I'm seeing that too with all the things that you're doing. And I mean, just in this call today, uh, things that are happening. So I'm really happy for you. And I hope that you can apply that for yourself too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Tell me and anybody listening where we can find your book or any of the work that you do or anything about you that you want to share.
Sure. So my website is, DianaColleenAuthor.com, and there's a sign up for my newsletter there, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you get my discussion guide and bonus material. There's, some ayahuasca trips that are not published in the book that are in the discussion guide, so you'll get that for free. And then the book is available pretty much anywhere books are sold. So if you're not don't wanna support Amazon or the big names, you can go into an independent bookstore and they can order it for you if they're not carrying it.
Terrific. I will make sure to link all of that in the show notes. And before I stop the recording, I'd like to just make some space and see if there's anything else that you want to say or touch on before we stop the recording.
Oh, I just wanna thank you so much. This is it's been very different than any of the other podcasts I've been on, and it's been amazing. So I just wanna thank you so much for that. And one thing that I'd like to say, um, when I'm being interviewed is hope is the consequence of action. And so in order to have hope in your life, you actually need to do something.
Terrific. And let's just take a moment and extend some of that gratitude and thanks to you too, because I can't do this on my own. And you showed up and you're doing fantastic things and working through some fantastic, even challenging things. Things, the questions that I was asking you are that are not easy to look at or to go into. And yeah, we did all of that today. So yeah, you can thank me all you want. And also, let's extend some of that to you too, because you deserve it as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's right.